Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines.
President Donald Trump says Iran could be taken out in one night and that such action could come as early as Tuesday. Speaking to reporters, he warned of intensified strikes targeting power plants and bridges. He also told a briefing at the White House that the Tuesday deadline for Iran to make a deal is final and unlikely to be extended. Regarding Tehran's latest proposal, he said it was significant, but not good enough. Trump warned that US forces would launch broad attacks on Iranian infrastructure if no agreement is reached. On the other hand, Iran's supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei has said that assassinations and attacks will not disrupt the country's armed forces. In a statement carried by IRIB News, he accused what he called the American Zionist enemy of killing IRG. See Brigadier General Sayed Majid Kademi. Khamenei described the commander as a key figure in Iran's security and intelligence operations, warning such actions would not weaken the military.
The United States and Iran have received a new peace proposal aimed at ending hostilities, but Tehran has rejected reopening the Strait of Hormuz at this stage. Sources said the framework includes an immediate ceasefire followed by a broader agreement within 2 to 3 weeks. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has warned of severe consequences if the strait remains closed, as diplomatic contacts continue involving key regional players, including Pakistan.
Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghei has said that ceasefire negotiations are incompatible with ultimatums and threats. Speaking during the weekly press conference, he said Tehran has finalized its response to proposals conveyed through Pakistan and other intermediaries, as pressure mounts from Washington. He made it clear that Tehran will not hesitate to defend the country, despite President Trump's plans to wrap up the war, and added that latest US deadline on strikes won't compel compliance. Trump has recently warned of severe consequences if a deal is not reached by April 7th to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which remains closed after Iran's retaliation to US and Israeli strikes. Meanwhile, state news agency IRNA says Iran has sent its response to a US proposal for ending the war through Pakistan, rejecting a temporary ceasefire and calling for a permanent end to hostilities. The report says the plan includes 10 clauses covering an end to regional conflict, a protocol for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, sanctions relief, and post-war reconstruction.
Iranian media has reported that the head of intelligence of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has been killed in a strike. According to statements attributed to the guards, Majid Kademi died in what was described as an attack by US and Israeli forces. He had taken over the role earlier this year after his predecessor was also killed in previous strikes.
At least 34 people, including 6 children, have been killed in Iran as US and Israeli strikes hit multiple cities and damaged Sharif University, a key scientific institution. Tehran says the attacks targeted civilian areas and infrastructure, with fatalities reported in Baharistan, Qom, and Bandar-e-Lenge. Iran has warned of retaliation, rejecting ceasefire pressure and vowing to respond to any further strikes as the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed. The United Nations has condemned escalating violence and inflammatory rhetoric in the Middle East, warning against threats targeting civilian infrastructure. UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric said officials were alarmed by remarks from Donald Trump suggesting possible attacks on power plants and bridges, stressing such actions would violate international law. The UN urged an immediate end to the conflict as fighting intensifies in southern Lebanon, where more than 1 million people are now displaced and peacekeepers have been wounded in recent attacks. At least 10 people have been killed in an Israeli airstrike near a school sheltering displaced Palestinians in central Gaza. Witnesses say clashes broke out between residents and an Israeli-backed militia before drones fired missiles into the area near the Maghazi refugee camp.
That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.